Hey you guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin, and today we have sort of a special video. I am unboxing one of these RainPoint two-zone. It has two-zone timers, and it is this one. Actually, the one I bought has the brass, but this works if you have the plastic one as well. And so the first part of this video will be the unboxing and how to set up and how to get your zones going. And then the second part of this video will be a little story with not quite a disaster, but it's frustrating for sure. So we did this. I loved it so much with the first one that I bought a second one and went to go put it on some older pipes. And so we had a little disaster with some breaking of the PVC line that was fed out to the shed in the spigot there. And so anyhow, stay tuned for both of those. And or if you're just here for the instructions, stay tuned for the first part and then you can click out. But thanks. Hey you guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and how to set up video on this RainPoint two-zone water timer. And this looks like it's plastic, but I actually ordered brass fittings. And so we're going to get this box opened up here and make sure, first of all, that I got the brass one that I asked for. Oh yeah, that's the brass that I asked for. So here we go, unboxing everything. Everything looks really good. It does not come with batteries, so you're going to want to get some AA batteries, 2 of them. Okay, I'm opening up the battery area. It's pretty easy, just pulls, doesn't do anything special. Here we go. I thought it was AAAs, but it's actually just 2 AAs, which is pretty simple, straightforward. Pop them in, just kind of seal the top back up. That is watertight seal right there. And it says off, but it's coming alive. Now we will go to the spigot. Okay, now we're over at the spigot. I happen to have a 4-way, but you just really need access to one particular opening valve area. And so we're going to come on over and we're going to install the timer onto the one that I have on the left. I am taking apart both of them because one of those hoses goes to my zone 1 and the other one's going to go to zone 2. What you're going to want to do is get your timer up there, screw it in as tight as you can. If you need Teflon tape, go ahead and do that right at this point. You can put it around the threads. You want to try to get it as vertical as possible. Of course, I'm using the one on the side because I felt that would give me a little bit more access. In hindsight, I probably should have put some of the Teflon tape around the top spigot area, but instead I was just thinking about the bottom with the leaks, so I put that on there, wrapped it around a few times, and that seemed to be pretty good. I didn't have any issues with it at all. I'm hooking up my zone 2, which in my case happens to be North Garden. Nice and snug on there, and now I'm going to wrap zone 1 with some Teflon tape in there. Get a few wraps around that. And then I will screw the garden hose to zone 1 into the outlet. Next, we're going to go ahead and activate the timer. This is the little baggie the Teflon tape came in, but it also gives you 1 spare filter and 2 rubber washers in case something goes wrong with the others. To activate the timer before you use it, keep the garden faucet off, but turn the timer dial to the on position. press and hold the manual button 3 to 5 seconds to enter the manual watering mode. Press the zone button twice to select zones 1 and 2. And when the screen flashes, immediately press OK button to start the manual watering. After hearing 2 clicks or waiting about 5 seconds, the valves in the timer are opened, and then turn the dial off to close the valves. You'll want to repeat that step 3 to 5 times. Now we're going to set the clock. And you have 2 choices there. You're going to do 24-hour clock or every 12-hour format. Press OK to whichever one you prefer. We do want the 12 hours because I want to water twice a day. So we're going to hit the manual button and you'll see the hour to change. So I'm going to use the plus and negative to set the hours just like you would a home clock. And then you hit OK. And then I'm going to set my minutes. When I get to the correct time, I hit OK. And then we're set, except for we have to turn the dial a full rotation. Oops. Then we're going to go to on. Okay, we're going to go to zone 2. And then we're going to go to set clock. And we want it at 12 hours. So we're going to hit OK. Back to off. Okay. So now we have it set up for every 12 hours. Now we're going to do step 2, the start time. We're going to turn the dial to start time. You're going to use the plus and minus buttons to set your start time. So you see your hour. I need to go back because I want my timer to go off at 6 in the morning. Then I hit OK. Okay, I want it to have the minutes right at the 0 mark. So we'll continue on by saving it by turning the dial to the right clockwise a full rotation. Next, we're going to do step 3, and we're going to do how long we want our water to go, our irrigation to stay on. And you're going to use the plus and minus buttons to select watering duration from 1 minute to 3 hours and 59 minutes. I personally want it for 20 minutes. At one point, I changed my mind and I decided to go 30 and see if that was too much. And so once I liked my duration of time, I hit OK. And then I'm going to do a full rotation of the dial to save it. Okay, now that the time is set, I want to do how long. So I put it on the how long with the dial, and it's set up to default at 1 time per day. I want it 2, so I hit the plus button to change that. Then I'll hit OK, and I'll rotate that dial all the way around again. And then I can do that again for zone 2. At this point, I'll have to do everything again for zone 2, as a matter of fact. First it was the start time, then for how long. Setting that up. I'm setting it up for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to turn the dial. Well, OK, and then turn the dial. And then I'm going to move on to how often. Step 4. We're going to do twice a day. And then I'm going to do full rotation. All right, next we're going to go out to the garden to do a little test. I've opened up all the valves at the top of the spigot, and then also that little left side had a spigot there, or valve opening there. And there we go. We can see that it started right on the time that I gave it to start time, and it will do a duration of 30 minutes, and it'll do, so it was at 6 o'clock, it'll do at 6 o'clock in the morning as well. Since then, I have backed it back off to 20 minutes. Let's go to North Garden and see. This one is on a bit of a time lapse, so you'll see it start up kind of slowly, but as it gets going, the little ground will get more and more soaked. It's more like a mist there instead of just drip or hard spray. It's a different type of irrigation there. But you see it's getting darker and darker as it goes, and I'm real happy with how everything is getting watered over here. In about 20 to 30 minutes time, yep, all the plants get complete water. You do see the drips going off a little bit under that broccoli, but otherwise it also mists. So if you've made it to the second part of this video, this is the location of where the second drip irrigation timer was put in at, and we had a bit of a fail. So in the beginning, what we had was this in here, and it ran to two different hoses, and this part was just locked down pretty tight to the original spigot that was here. And so it didn't turn by hand, and so my husband got a wrench, and when he wrenched it, all the pipes on the inside were cracking. So then we're like hearing water's just pouring out, and we're like, oh no. So he's like, where's the turnoff valve? There was no turnoff valve inside the shed. And so then the next place that looked is over there at the spigot by the house. There is a turnoff going into the house, but there's not a turnoff for here. So we went through that whole process, and he's like, the only other place I know to turn it off. We've been in this house 18 years, but we don't use the spigot for anything much other than turning on off for the gardens. So it hasn't been a problem. So he had to turn it all the way off at the street. And unfortunately that meant we were not going to have water from dinner time to the next, well, till about 1:30 the next day, actually, because it took 2 trips to Home Depot. So yes, we end up going to Home Depot. We got the pipe, the PVC on the inside that was used, well, ended up not getting used because it was the wrong size. And then we reworked some of the fittings. Hold on, let me get you in closer because it's not going to make sense unless I point at things. And this is really crazy. This is kind of where it shattered up in here in this area. And so he just cut it off here, and also all this part. This is just a return to send water from this fallen apart sink out back like to the outside. And then of course the floor has been rotted between whatever water damage he had originally, and then it probably doesn't help that critters have made a home in here as well. And like I said, there is no shut-off valve that we could find unless it runs under the floor and out somewhere here, and then eventually would make its way somewhere between, you know, close to the house, I think. Okay, so he did bring it on up. It was supposed to be much higher. Let me just start there. It's supposed to be higher. But as he worked above, there was a joint and then a little area above, and that's where he was going to cap or bring the elbow joint over. That did not work because it was not even glued in, and so he ended up having to go much lower than we wanted. But he put this board in, secured all this. All this is really glued in very well. It's just basic, I think it's 1-inch PVC pipe now. And then we have a 90-degree, but we had an opportunity for one that kind of came outward, and we might have to do that, or we might have to pull this cinder block or cement block. So yes, it comes down, and guess what? I cannot get the house garden in there, and I definitely can't get the sorry, this is the house garden. I can't get the house garden attached. And salsa garden is better if I move the cinder block, but other than that, I really can't seem to get that one attached either. And this is cracked, I believe. Yeah, there's all the cracking right there, and there's cracking on the lips. So I'm just, you know what? I probably don't need to buy a hose. I just need to buy this piece. Whatever this is, that's what I need to buy. That's the cracked part. That might make my job a little bit easier. And we got to figure out, I'm gonna probably have to remove a cinder block today. Anyhow, we just have a quick fix for right now. Eventually what he'll do is put this on a pipe somewhere, or a 4x4, something like that. And it will remain while the shed will come down. So that's our little story. I'm still in the process of having to fix things and work through that. But meanwhile, we got rain last night, which was great. I don't have to water this morning anyhow. And hopefully by the time you see me again, this will all be fixed. But I'll do it off camera because you've already seen the setup by now. So with that said, you guys, it's being worked on. It should be done within a couple of days. So you guys, thank you for watching. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.